Helen here with Eyes on the Game. I'm here at the Palms. So this weekend is the Ultimate Fighter finale, and I'm being joined by UFC flyweight champion Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson. Now you are facing the winner, Tim Elliott, this weekend. What are your thoughts on him?
He's a great opponent. He always comes well prepared, always in great condition. So I'm going to go out there, just fight and see what happens.
Now it will be your 9th title defense. I mean, Honestly, though, do you feel that there is any more competition for you?
Yeah, there's always competition. You know, I don't go out there and search for competition. I just focus on getting better as an athlete and keep on improving my mixed martial arts skills. And this is the byproduct of that, what's going on. So it's up to the UFC to go out there and find the competition. And that's what they did by the show. They got a lot of talent off that show, and fights make styles, you know. Styles make fights. So, you know, the styles I've been going up against, I've been able to overcome. So the question is, can I overcome Tim Elliott's awkward style?
Now, what do you think has been the credit to your success so far?
Always willing to evolve. The great coaches who've been very knowledgeable about the sport, forcing me to change, being with the same team the whole entire time. You know, you see a lot of people, like, they'll train with different people because they're not getting what they want. You know, there's been times I've lost underneath the AMC banner. I've lost before. I could have just packed them like, oh, this didn't work out. Screw this. I'm leaving. Blah blah blah. But I was like, no, why do we lose? How can we fix this? What do I need to fix as an athlete? What do I need to fix as a martial artist to add this into my repertoire? And I don't see a lot of people doing that nowadays. So
you always do go back to the drawing board? Well, right?
Even after I win my fights, you know, I go back and I'm like, oh, what do you think happened? And Matt goes, oh, you could have just did it a little bit faster. And I'm like, oh, well, how could I have done it faster? Well, you could have crossed distance this way. And always things you can work on.
So for the fight this weekend, though, what changes in particular did you make?
Yeah, nothing really. Just keep on training, getting better, and you know, going back to my old self. I guess you could say that. Before you guys saw how I fight now, I used to, you know, be very vicious on the ground, doing certain things. So hopefully on Saturday you can see it.
Now, if you are successful and defend your title for the 9th time this Saturday, is the move back to Bantamweight to possibly avenge your loss against, and your only loss in the UFC against Dominic Cruz, is that a possibility?
I mean, if the money's right, and obviously right now I'm focused on breaking Anderson Silva's record, so that comes first. I mean, the loss is a loss. You know, it's not like if I beat him, you know, they scribble it out. It's not like I'm bitter or butthurt over that loss. Like, shit happened like 4 years ago, so I'm not worried about it. But other than that, you know, if the money's right, then we might make it happen.
So if the money's right, would that happen before breaking Anderson Silva's record, or are you very adamant on making that happen first?
You know what? I'll have to talk to Matt and my coach about that, because who knows, about, hey, we'll give you $2 million to go do it. I'm like, you know what, Anderson, I mean, they're like, regardless of what happens, whether you win or lose, you can still go back and never lose a beat to where you've gone. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll do that.
And yesterday, too, it was officially announced, the MMA Athletes Association. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, my hat goes off to, you know, Donna Cerrone, Tia Dillashaw, Tim Kitty, all the rest, GSP, Cain Velasquez, all those guys. And, you know, I don't know too much about the whole organization and association, what they're trying to do right now, but I respect those guys trying to make the sport a lot better. You know, I'm all for what's going to make the sport a lot better. If it's going to make the athletes a lot happier, and the UFC's on board too, then yeah, I always have open ears to hear what they're going to do.
And also, lastly, for you, Demetrious, what do you think about Conor McGregor kind of having to give back his featherweight belt?
Well, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, it's hard to say, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't in there in the UFC office deciding what the negotiating was or whatever. You know, I think I would like to see Conor keep both of the belts and go down and fight Jose Aldo, since he is the interim champion. Fight that. Then after he beat him, take 2-3 months off, go fight, you know, number one contender, which is we don't even know who the number one contender is at flyweight. So they could have been a perfect scenario. They go down to have, you know, what's his name? Conor fight Jose Aldo. If he beat Jose Aldo, while he fights Jose Aldo, they're going to have Khabib Nurmagomedov take on Tony Ferguson. The winner of that, Conor could have gone up and fight that, defend that belt. Then the winner of Anthony Pettis and Max Holloway, he could have gone in there and fight that while they got another contender. I mean, I foreseen him doing that. Like, that's what I would have done if I was a matchmaker. But, I mean, he's going to bring way more noticeability to both weight classes because he just talks so much and he has so much big following. So then you have 2 weight classes that is popping instead of now, you know, who knows where the fans are going to go.
And would you have liked to see that happen more than him going to 170? and fighting Tyron Woodley for that belt, or do you think that was kind of just saying too much?
I think it was just saying too much. I would like to see him stay at 145, 155. You know, they got a lot of contenders at 170. You know, Conor McGregor has never even fought a top 10, a real 170. He's never fought a top 10 170. So let's say Conor McGregor was active in a 170-pound division. He was fighting guys like, you know, when Rory McDonald was there, or if he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he was fighting actual 170ers like Jake Ellenberger or whatever. I think he's at 170. Yeah. Then I'm like, yeah, okay, perfect. Let's give this guy a shot. But just because he has 2 belts and he's Conor McGregor, I don't think you just give him a title shot.
And lastly, too, to add on to that, what about a trilogy between he and Nate Diaz?
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do. You know, let's make the trilogy right. You know, let's have Nate Diaz get a couple wins on a 155-pound division before that. You know, I don't want to see Nate Diaz jump over Tony Ferguson and Khabib, you know. Like I said, have him, you know, since now that, you know, Conor already said that he's not going to fight until after, you know, his girlfriend gives birth to his baby. So it's perfect. We know what Conor's doing. He's on ice. So let's get the number 1 contender. Let's get this cut dry. And Tony Ferguson said, yeah, I'll fight Khabib. You know, let's fight. And let's fight it, you know. And if Khabib wants to do it. And then we'll find out who the true number 1 contender is. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Demetrious Johnson, the UFC flyweight champion of the world. And you're watching Eyes on the Game with Helen.